Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters. I am Deplorable Knitter. This lovely lady with me, I always do the wrong hand. This lovely lady right next to me here is Ann Pinkova. She is wonderful. And yeah, good morning. Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
So what's
And
happening?
hello to the chat. Thank you all
Yes.
for waiting. It was my fault. I'll admit that.
It could have been my fault, but instead of worrying about what my hair looked like, I just put on my kid's elf hat. So, hey, if you
Hey.
remember, I was making this last week. We did elves and reindeers. One kid wasn't actually they both I made this hat, right? Sorry, I know that we got other things we usually do first, but I made this hat. I worked my butt off, I finished it. And what happened? Both of my kids ended up wearing reindeer ears instead, and the hat was kind of unnecessary. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Because as I also recall, your other child was like, no, wait, I do want one now. And you're like, well, there's no time, kiddo. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, never mind. Never mind for both of them. Well, it's super cute.
No. I actually kind of like it. I'm not really into festive stuff, but it's cute and it was super easy because it's crocheted instead of knit, so it worked up like pretty fast, which was great.
Nice.
So anyway, yeah, Iris says it's still a nice hat. Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's nice, so thank you. I appreciate it. I just thought it was really ironic that I was like working my butt off, and then my kid was like, "Actually, no," but I'm good.
Yeah, no.
So anyway, we are sponsored by Chicken Lady Fiber Arts.
We are.
And she is great, and we love her. She's not in the chat as far as I've seen yet, but
yeah, but we love you anyways, Lynn. I want you to know that.
Even if I did send your Christmas present to Anne instead of you, it's been a week, guys.
It'll be sent. It'll be fine.
It's all fine.
But
anyway,
to get 20% off your order at chickenladyfiberarts.com, you can use our code MBluebird20 PIK. Again, to get 20% off your order. And you can get lovely yarns such as the giveaway, which is This is Ghoulish Eve. Time for scary ghost stories and tales of the glories. And it is blacklight reflective. So like there's all sorts of little speckles, but in certain lightings, it will go absolutely wild, which is very exciting and very fun. Sorry.
Sorry.
There you go.
And Bluebird 20 PIK for 20% off of her fabulous yarns.
Yes.
Ooh, this one right here that is so gorgeous and wonderful is one of her oopsies. I love buying her oopsies, which I know doesn't help you guys, but her oopsies
kind of like
are
first served.
Yeah.
Sorry, suckers. We got there first.
They're generally really pretty, even though it's not what she meant for it to be. And like this one's like purples, but then it's got like little bits of like teal and like light blue. And I mean, it does not feel like an oops to me. So
I know, like, sorry, I have a couple balls over here that's like this one was also an oopsie. Fantastic. But yeah, but also we get like Secret Garden, such a beautiful colorway. I love greens. Greens are great.
Me too.
But yeah. And have you done anything with her advent yet? Because I have.
I have not. Well, I'll show you what I've been doing because I stink. We all know that. I am. Look it. I'm not let me take the banner off because it's covering everything. I'm not procrastinating. It's a side quest. But I do tend to procrastinate, and so I'm working on things that should have been done, 3 weeks ago. So hey, that's what I'm doing.
I get it. I just realized that I finished the giant scarf, but then I left it over there. So I should go get it.
You should go get it. Let me talk about my stocking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I've been working on my stocking. I'm still working on my stocking. So this is based on Wise Owl Knits pattern. It's a really, really great pattern, but actually none of the motifs except these reindeers are ones that she included in the pattern because I made it last year for the same family. So I didn't want them to be like too matchy. So I switched it up. I gotta say, I really love these trees that are two different heights because they make me like really super happy. Um, but so I'm on to the toe, and then this guy has an afterthought heel. So I'm in the home stretch for this, and I have another stocking I have to make this weekend because I'm procrastinating. This is not a side quest. I need to get this stuff done. Like I'm bad. And oh, Cassie likes the reindeer. Thank you. Because last night in my Patreon, I posted about this because I kind of needed to hold myself accountable. And I was doing the thing right here where the reindeer are, where I started snowmen and I kept ripping them out. And so I posted a picture and I kind of told everybody what I was doing. And then Cassie and Tara and people were like, just do it. Just do it. You're way overthinking it. And so they told me to keep the snowmen because that was the plan. But then the snowman weren't working. So I was like, the reindeer are the right size. They're very cute. Fine. So
roll with it.
Home stretch. And this is a great pattern. If you have never, I don't knit socks. Like I know a lot of people are super into socks. So I can't work on the toe because I need my pattern and I need to read it and follow the instructions because I don't knit socks. But like her patterns are so well written that I don't feel like I feel like I can confidently make this, and that's excellent. So, oh, Cassie said it was mainly to incorporate the blue. Yeah, either way, this section was going to be blue no matter what happened because I put blue at the top, and I think that was part of the struggle because I'm like, how do I get this blue back in here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and the heel and toe are going to be red, and if you guys don't like it, well, too darn bad because I feel like it needs more red also. So,
yeah, I'd agree.
Anyway, it's for a little girl. Somebody said it's woodsy themes, but I think it's cute. It's classic. And at least this commission, the other reason, the other reason that this is so hard for me is not that it's a commission because that's not a big deal. The fact is the family that I'm making it for, I went to school with their daughter. I've known her since fourth grade. And so therefore, like I have this thing in my head where I'm like, everything has to be really, really wonderful because I don't want to disappoint this family that I've known for a long time. So that's a me problem. I understand that.
I know. Whereas me with the Christmas stocking, I did get it to the gal. I actually dropped it off her. I didn't see her in person, which that whole funny thing, she's like, oh, wow, how much do I owe you? And internally, I'm like, how about you never ask me to do this again? That would be the best.
That would
I'm
be
like,
the best.
oh, and then like, oh, whatever you paid me last time, whatever. See ya. Yeah. I don't want to look at this stocking anymore. It's a lovely stocking. It's a very pretty stocking. Also,
yeah, no, I get it totally. Like, because it's
sorry for being a little grinchy, Claus. Didn't mean to.
Well, yeah, you might be a little bit grinchy, but I feel the same way when it comes to the one I have to do next, which for those of you guys who may not remember is I have to reknit this one because Santa is wonky and drunk. Santa, don't be drunk. It makes everything hard.
Drunk Santa.
But I did tell this family that this is the last time we're doing the stocking for them. I sent a very nice email that had nothing to do with how I hate doing them. It was like, oh, hey, we're getting away from that, so I won't be able to do this for you anymore, which I thought was really a nice way to say, no, thank you. But, and people are like, oh, this is cute, but they have a lot of these stockings that we've made, and she will notice that his legs are very messed up. And the color work on this
chat and says he's never drunk.
Neil, you're drunk. Stop it. So that's what I got to work on this weekend. But it's going to be done this weekend because I want these things out of my life. I want good things the week before Christmas. I don't want nonsense. Yeah. There are certain projects that aren't worth taking commissions for because they are more of a labor of love. I don't mind doing the one for my friend's family because they have like a theme of like nobody's stocking matches. As long as it fits the theme, they don't care what I do. I'm okay with that. This one that I'm copying what Grandma made, I am not Grandma. I do not have the love for your family. I'm sure Grandma was lovely, but one of you guys needs to figure out how to knit because this is a family thing. I am not your family. I don't want to do it. Thank you. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Sorry.
Just like Ratatouille, anyone can cook. Anyone can knit. Sincerely. You can pick it up. You can do it. You can do it yourself.
Hmm. Lisa says send her the pattern and chart. I actually got it from her because they had it. They had it. Somebody, I don't know if they've had several people make them throughout the years, and they've had people tell them, no, I'm not making this again. And then they've had not nice ones done. And so the fact that we did good work and
Mhm.
whatever. But I
Yeah.
finally said this year, because every year my mom and I talk about it, and we talk about how much we hate it and how much money would it take for us to not hate it. And then we always determine that it doesn't matter because we'll still hate it even if we got like $500 for it. So, you know what I mean? That's the end of that.
I get it.
Cassie
No.
says send him one of those I can knit kits. I mean, that would be funny, but I don't think it's appropriate,
Okay.
unfortunately. So, anyway,
No, I've said this before, but when people are like, "Oh, I could never do that," it's like, well, you could though. I
yeah.
mean, if you don't want to, that's fine. If you're just like, nah, I really don't want to learn to knit, I'm like, yeah, that's your own prerogative with your own life. But it's
Hmm.
like, if you have a game on your phone, then you have enough coordination and enough attention span and enough free time to do your own to knit your own stuff if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Probably enough spare change because a lot of those phone games you got to pay for extras and people do. So it's
Hmm.
like you have everything already to learn to knit. If you want to, it's right there, but
Right.
don't be like, "Oh, I could never." You could though. You
Right.
could
I mean,
though.
I taught my husband how to knit. He would never got past like knitting and purling, like squares. But I was doing it all the time, so he was like, "Okay." Then we had kids and life changed, but
Yeah.
it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway,
Anyway,
can I show you my yarn since I totally hijacked you were gonna show us the scarf?
go ahead.
Okay,
I love
so I'm supposed to be Christmas shopping, correct? I was Christmas
you.
shopping and then oops, I bought my own self some of my own yarn. Um,
Oh.
this is from Whimsical Wood yarn, and part of the reason I got it is because I love this zebra yarn, but generally people only ever have it in sock weight, and this is
Mhm.
not sock weight. This is DK. And
Nice.
so then I felt like I needed to have it. And this is 100% superwash merino. It is so soft. It is so pretty. And I haven't opened it yet, but let's look at it together. Let's
Okay.
see. I think it's going to be real pretty. I just got it yesterday. So, yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty fabulous, and I'm pretty happy about it. Um, Lots of pinks and blues, and I love this blue in the middle. So, and that's
Nice.
orangier than it's showing, but it's real pretty. So that's my story about my yarn. And I think that getting this yesterday is part of what finally um, pushed me to work on the stockings because I could not, in good faith, start a project for myself that with all those
Mhm.
hanging over my head. So Kendra says it's unexpected. Yeah, I knew it was going to have that in there, and I'm pretty stoked. So, like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm pretty excited. So, anyway, that's the story about that.
Cool.
And I'm done now.
Wow. Well, I have, okay, before I show off my scarf, I have another procrastination story
Okay.
because you're like, couldn't do it in good faith. Yeah, so I have a little stuffed Batman toy that I absolutely need to knit for someone. In fact, it should have been done in November. It's not a Christmas thing. It's a I said I would do this thing.
Hmm.
But it's like, and I've made this pattern before. It's not that it's that complicated. It's just in my head, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do it though.
Hmm.
I don't want to sit there and pay attention to the pattern and everything. It's not a complicated pattern. This is a me issue through and through.
Yeah.
But two, I'm like, well, but I can also make the gloves for my brother I talked about. So I got
Yeah.
this
Hold them
far,
up. Let's
which
see.
is okay. This
Ooh.
is comparable in complication, I guess, to knitting a little Batman toy. I'm sitting here, I'm doing stranded color work. I mean it's my own pattern, but still
Right.
it's a pattern you have to pay attention to. But yeah, this is my Memento Mori mitts
I like
from
it.
what issue 14 of Blocked. And On Knitting Wars, I said I wasn't sure about what yarn to pair with this dark green. Again, this is a Chicken Lady yarn. It's beautiful. It's
Is
soft.
it
It's
thicket?
lovely. It's not thicket though.
Okay.
I want to say that it's Black Watch or something. Or maybe just tartan. That it has one of those names
Oh, I
to it.
remember. Yep.
Yep, but it's these dark greens and blues. Actually, I have some thicket to compare it with, but I think it rolled onto the floor. Oh, wait, there it is.
Okay. Oh.
All right, so thicket is much darker.
Oh, so it's bluer, a lot bluer.
Yeah, so it is more blue. But I found this yarn, which is actually from Skeins in New Zealand, our friend Marie Buskey.
Fancy.
And this is like New Zealand proper wool too, and it's really lovely and soft. And I liked it because it was in the same like color value family, so they complement each other very well.
I'm glad you went with that, because some of the other options you were showing off last time, they just weren't right. You know what I mean? They weren't bad, but they weren't right.
Like I had a gold and I had a black, and I'm like, yeah, but this
mm-hmm.
I don't know if if this blue green is sort of like your black, then it's like white. Like it's on the same sliding scale enough that it
comes
in. Anyways, but yeah, I love it. I am the original pattern is in DK on a size 3 needle, so they're tight. And this is worsted weight on a 4 because I handed my brother the gloves and they were too small for him. In fact, my gloves are a little small for me, so crap work on the pattern designing part. But so I messed up, I'll admit. But yeah, I love them. I love this skull pattern, and I do wear the gloves that I made of these, and it was so funny. That I'm leaving work for the day and I'm talking with my coworker and I'm like, wow, after a real crap day like today, it's always good to remember that I will die. And
well, it's all good.
Anyways, I love it. It's a pattern and idea that still makes me laugh every time I see it. And that's like the goal.
I'll do anything for a joke.
I will do anything for a joke, and it makes me very happy. But yeah, so working on those, and they're so soft too. Like this is a pleasant project to work on, and it makes me happy.
That's nice. I can't wait till I have a pleasant project to work on.
Right.
But that's okay. And the problem is that I can't even like drink while I'm working on these, because then Santa truly will be drunk and it will be a bad day. So
you have to focus. Exactly.
I know. Oh well. It's okay. They'll be done today.
But yeah, and otherwise I have my secret gift scarf, which is huge. Which
it is huge. Does it have that on both ends?
It does.
Okay, good. Because if you had not done it on the other side, I think I would have yelled at you, honestly.
You'd be like, what the heck, dude?
Yeah.
No, it's like this
after
was
all
the most...
that work, come on.
Oh yeah. No, this is the most interesting and like enjoyable part of this. So it's like, why wouldn't I do it twice? That flip the other side.
Nice.
So yeah, I hope he likes it.
I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't.
Be crazy.
Dude, if somebody unprovoked sent me a random gift that they spent a lot of time on, even if I would never use it, I would be like, this is awesome, because somebody spent that much time thinking that you would like it. So,
And 2 matching hats. I mean,
I know. I love it.
Yep.
Is that Chicken Lady yarn also?
No, actually.
Okay.
It is, there we go. Da-da-da-da. With much louder color. It is You and I yarn.
Oh, cool.
Liz. I don't believe she dyes anymore, but we interviewed her years ago. But yeah, this is one of her yarns. Yeah, I thought it worked well for the whole phoenix motif and their logo colors. I mean, it doesn't have that purple in there, but it grounds it, so it all works out.
Neil has a question. Did you flip the chart for the other end of the scarf? Did it change the design look at all?
Yeah, I just flipped it upside down, and I don't know.
I don't think it looks really any different.
Not really. I mean,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, I don't. Let's see. So this one is the upside down one, but yeah, I don't think there's any real discernible. I mean, I guess if you look at the top of the wings or whatever, but really, I don't think so.
Yeah. BS is asking how you did it. It's Intarsia. Anne is the
Oh
queen
yeah.
of Intarsia.
Oh yeah.
She
Here.
the things that make the rest of us cry and scream, she's like, oh hey, I'm gonna do that for fun. So, you know.
Actually, my problem is with doing Intarsia is that I will sit there and I'm pretty practiced at getting the tension right for this. So because it's like, okay, in my mind, stranded color work is easier than Intarsia, but it's like because I've spent so much time, slapping logos on stuff that I'm used to the tension of that. So I'll be going along with here and like this, don't look too closely, but like the where it meets up, where you have the last skull here on the other side, I'm like, yeah, it's a little bubbly. It's a little, I mean, that'll block out, I'm sure, but also I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, that's not as nice as it could be. I could,
So that's like straight up color work.
yeah, this is normal.
Yeah.
Here, let me flip this one inside out.
I
Because
was gonna say, speaking of bubbly, right here in between you can't tell, but in between my reindeer, it got a little bubbly. And this is acrylic because all their stockings are acrylic, so I'm gonna have to steam black this one to death. Because it just doesn't have, the same give as wool.
right here, yeah, that I don't know that you can really tell, but
No, you can't, but it's that spot where you got, a few stitches and the tension, it's
yeah,
different because you're working back and forth.
yeah, it's the end of the row. This side is mostly one color. This is the end for another.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, so yes,
Um,
I'm very happy to have that finished and sent out.
well, it's
But
not
it's
sent
not
out
sent
yet,
out
but yeah.
yet. No,
Hey,
it's not.
speaking of sent out, if you've been waiting for me to send you some shit, I finally sent some. I still have a few orphan skeins that didn't get claimed. One of them is this. Actually, here. Oh, sorry about my face on the screen there, friends. Um, these two guys didn't get sent. And then, Anne, I was thinking about it this morning, and I think you have the address for the Sweaty Sweater winner because I think she also did Shark Week. And so I also have to send that out. But if you won one of these skeins, I'm almost caught up. And hey, if you won, tell me the truth and send me an email because I got everything else out. I'm like super proud of myself.
Yeah.
My ADHD procrastination. I have to be. In fact, Anne and I decided this week that I am no longer in charge of sending out prizes. I don't have the bandwidth to stay on top of it. I'm sorry. Um, but my ADHD procrastination, I got a ton done. I'm working on the stockings. I sent out the gifts. I cleaned my room. I did all the laundry in my house. Like sometimes I get these bursts where I get a lot done. So, hey, for you guys, I'm just gonna tell you guys something else, but I don't remember what it was, so it's okay.
There you go.
Uh,
So I have
yes.
one more project to show.
Oh, good.
That's all right.
Please do.
Anyways, because I broke out the Chicken Lady Advent. Pretty excited for this. And it's one of those things where, okay, so spoiler, making another puzzle box quilt because I love to make it. But it's like, oh, this yarn is so pretty. It's so this, it's so that. And there's a lot of really good, okay, looking at down the line at her Advent, there are so many like good and like very iconic color combinations. Like we have here the Dorothy dress, the Yellow Brick Road, Galinda, the Wicked Witch of the West. Very great. And then we have the red shoes, Scarecrow, Tin Man, Cowardly Lion, and Flying Monkeys, Horse of a Different Color, Emerald City. And not included like, okay, these are all they're fantastic. They're iconic colors. You know exactly what they are the whole time. I love it. But, and then also, because I have wound up already, I have the sort of the sepia tone black and white world
Oh
at the
yeah.
beginning, the Kansas, I guess. I forget what she called the colorway exactly, but that tone.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And then, oops, we have Over the Rainbow. Man, okay, it's looking washed out on the screen. It is like nerds candy. Like it is so bright and so vibrant. And so I was trying to like figure out how to play with them together because these are all such the colors together, they all tell a story. But if I was to do a shawl that was like every other one with the rainbow, like the rainbow would be too much, you
Yep.
know, that I don't want. I want them together, but I don't want them touching, I guess. If that
Hmm.
if that makes
I
any
get what you're
sense.
saying.
Yeah, that I mean, like here, I love the scarecrow. It is so beautiful and so
I
hobbity.
think that
But
might be my favorite color, which is so weird
yeah,
for me.
I
But
know.
they don't go.
Yeah, but I can't like directly with the rainbow. I'm like,
Mm-mm.
I'm not sure about that. So my solution to this, oh here, I'll put it back. This is a delightful works bag that she did a while
Nice.
ago. But anyways, so my solution to this problem is, sorry, now I have a lap full of yarn and it's getting all tangled. So I'm doing another puzzle box quilt, sure, and it's going to be like a baby blanket size. It can't be super big, though. I'm using just as much white yarn as I am Lynn's Advent, so that will give me a little more space. But what I'm doing is normally I would have white at the top and the bottom, and then those create squares when you go around. But for this one, I'm doing rainbow for my bottom square. So there'll be every other one will be a square of rainbow and then a square of white on the other side. And then I'm doing white on this side so that there's like a little, it'll be bright and there's room for each of the colors to breathe. But still, you have the Together Wizard of Oz theme.
Hmm.
And then there will probably be some rainbow left over. So I think I'll do an I-cord edge in rainbow to kind of tie the whole thing together. But
Nice.
there you go.
Cool. Very pretty.
That's my plan. That's my
Hmm.
scheme. I hope it works out.
Yep.
Well, I'll see how it goes because each of these squares go into a 4 square. So hopefully each ball of yarn will have at least enough yarn for 3 of these in order,
Hmm.
because 12 minis, 4 a square, 3 of each. So you'll want it to be what? Sorry,
What?
9 times
Oh,
4. Yeah. So anyways, it'll be a 9 square of 4 each of these for the quilt. Anyways, lots of math, lots of stuff. But
yeah.
yeah, and I have these I'm doing this on some vintage DPNs and I have these little,
Oh, cute.
yeah. So it's
Yep.
all nice and festive for Christmas. So that's
Very
what I've been
cool.
working on.
Cool, cool. Um, Today when we're done, this is what I was going to tell you. Today when
Mhm.
we're done, I have to run up to Rochester Institute of Technology and pick up my cross stitch Trump piece
Ooh,
because the exhibit ended yesterday. So
nice.
um, that's something I'm going to do. I'm thinking about selling it. I'm not sure, but I'm not. I don't know. If
Mhm.
anybody's interested in that, let me know. Um, and I have to run out of the room for a minute. So you were going to tell me about something that was going on with someone that was a little bit of a story. So you want to start that, and I'll be right back.
Oh,
Is that okay?
sure if you like.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Well, what I was going to tell DK. We have a couple of different news stories things this week. I mean, we have FBI, always a fun topic. Drones in New Jersey, crazy stuff like that. But there's been this sort of long, I guess, Twitter debate, but it's not just a Twitter issue. With James Lindsay and the term the woke right, which I thought was pretty interesting. I do like James Lindsay. I think he does have a tendency to turn and bite his friends. That there's some things I'm like, James, you could chill. You could chill a bit. You don't need to do this. But what he did and what made people so angry, and I think James Lindsay had a good premise for doing this, even though I think he's sometimes needlessly antagonistic. But that's like that's a whittling semantic thing. But what he did is he used a pseudonym, and he published a Marxist paper in a conservative journal by switching a couple of the words around, and then everybody said it was okay, and everyone's like, well, you just changed the whole meaning by the words, of course people said it's okay. And what James Lindsay has a problem with, and what I absolutely agree with him is that so many people on the right, they frame things in a leftist way, in a Marxist way. You have Marxism, and life is just a power struggle. It's all about power between classes, between races, between identity groups. Okay. And then you have people on the right who are like, no, I'm for conservatism. And you're like, fantastic. And they're like, it should be our people on top. And I'm like, wait, hang on. Hang on here. And it's framed in such a way. Yeah, Kat says that she's naming some people who are absolutely collectivists. They are collectivists, and also the way that they think about power and how they do power. And another really telling thing I find is when people, it's like, okay, this is a weird thing, because hi, it's me. I'm part of the population that have been conservative all along. So it's like, even though, obviously some people are older than I am, but it's like I've been paying attention a while, and this has been such a weird era politically that you do see the waves of thought, and you see things repeated, and people saying about how things are different. But you get people who are like, yay, I'm conservative. I voted for Trump. I did this. I'm like, fantastic. And they're like, and people really shouldn't make decisions about their own lives. I think they make bad decisions. I'm like, you're losing the plot. And it's like, it's people saying, yeah, it's like, oh, you don't actually believe in self-governance. I thought that that's what we were going for, that people have a right to make their own decisions about their own lives. And like, hang on here, hang on. What are we? And you find, like, Kat says, with like their collectivists, it's like they just think that the dominance hierarchy of collectivism is in the wrong order, that it should be their people in charge and not other people. It's like, oh, well, the problem is that we have the wrong elite telling people what to do with their lives. That's why everything's so disordered. Like, no, like, no, we're for individual choice and individual liberty. And it's also another tell that's like, okay, so what we want is a society with rules that are simple rules applied equally. We don't want over bureaucracy. We want to cut that out. We want people to live their lives as freely as possible, not total anarchy. You want rules and regulations, but you want enough rules and regulations to keep it together, but as few as possible. And that you have people who say they're for freedom, and again, they want more strenuous regulations for their side, that Yeah, it's crazy. And James Lindsay is using the term woke right, which is not super great, but it's like,
No.
well, you can see because, again, it's using the same Marxist tactics at its core. It's the same way of, it's accepting their premise, which ought to be rejected entirely, instead of saying like, no, 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 we do not frame the world this way. This is, if you frame the world in that thinking, you will end up with Marxist solutions, even if you say you're not a Marxist. So, anyways, so
Interesting.
that's my.
I hadn't heard about any of that, and I didn't realize, but people in the comments are saying stuff about like the Daily Wire and stuff that they're kind of part of this, and so who's James
Um,
Lindsay? Should I know who he is?
James Lindsay he's sort of a free roaming intellectual.
Okay, I know
Like
the name, but he's not necessarily involved in anything specifically.
he's written some books, but he's one of those guys who used to be a lefty and
Hmm.
isn't anymore. Well, is kind of, anyways, intellectual type. Um, one of those people. And I do like a lot of what he has to say, but he's not, I don't know, like, okay, a lot of my pals, used to be leftists and are more conservatives, but as for, it's like whose opinion, like on a like a deep, like, one, not theological level, but as term, but kind of a theological level, except not on that sort of intellectualism. This is exactly explaining how you believe.
Hmm.
I do tend for people who've been conservative for more than 10 years, because the new kids are like, oh, I just had this new idea. It's like, that's not a new idea. And I
Nice
appreciate that
try.
you're there, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I missed that whole thing. But so he published this piece and then people were like, "Oh, this is great," but really it was just a Marxist thing where he switched it up a tad.
Well, yeah,
Right.
yes,
So that's great.
he it was accepted into a right-leaning think piece magazine, and it's like, well,
Hmm.
I say, intellectually understand conservative, but even though the quote intellectuals are often like, oh boy, oh buddy, we're just gonna get
Right.
all, we're just gonna go the way of National Review, and not when it was good. But yeah, and there's the Daily Wire stuff, which is mostly speculation. Brett Cooper just left her show at Daily Wire.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what people are saying, and in the comments they're saying things like it's because she wanted to do more content than just what she had been doing, and she wants to do more like farm life and wife life and more of a ballerina farm thing as opposed to you know, what she was doing.
yeah.
So that's
I mean,
interesting.
look, I know some people, they really enjoy Daily Wire content. Good for them. It's not my thing. It's a little too nicey nice. But as far, it's like everybody has their own thing that they like, which is awesome. But yeah, I
Hmm.
wouldn't.
I mean, I've enjoyed Brett Cooper. I think she's funny,
Mhm.
and um,
She seems like a nice gal. I haven't really checked into her show, but
yeah. But the stuff that she like kind of doesn't care what people think is the vibe I get, and I like that because too many people are worried about it. So maybe that's part of why she's leaving. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know why you'd want to do the whole ballerina farm nonsense though. It's the whole influencer. I don't know. Okay, this has nothing to do with our show, but yesterday I got sucked into this TikTok mom drama. Okay, so I was watching stuff on YouTube and it suggested that I listen to this thing about her name is Nurse Hannah and she is known as the 17 diaper mom and now she's getting canceled and like CPS is getting called on her because her husband went to hand their kid something and the kid like protected his face and like flinched and like everybody's like, oh my god, he's being abused, and it was just nonsense. And personally, okay, so I'll put myself on the internet and open myself up to scrutiny, but I am never going to put my kids in a position where their face is out there, their I don't want people to know about them. They're my kids. They deserve privacy. But yeah, the whole putting yourself and your family into that boat, it's one thing. You're an adult, you make your choices, but I would never put my family out there. So anyway, that's my random story about that. Didn't really have much to do with anything, sorry. just just the stuff that is going on the internet is all um I don't know.
Internet's a
People
wacky
are
place.
yeah, people are too they share too much, and then people feel like they can say whatever they want to about them because they're out there, and it's just like
Yeah.
nobody has any
And
like respect. I don't know, something.
I don't know. I mean, I have plenty of uncharitable opinions about people on the internet, but again.
One second. Ballerina Farm she's like an influencer person. She was a ballerina, now she lives on a farm. She's like a kind of mommy blogger, trad wife person. It's kind of a weird situation.
Mm.
So, Bolsh Bolshoi homesteading, is that what? Okay. So, anyway. So that's my story about that. No crazy internet. I'm never going to show you. Okay, but let me tell you, this woman, the 17 diapers mom, I'm pretty sure she put the diapers all over her house for content, but they were like on the coffee table and in her kitchen. And I've had two kids in diapers at the same time. I never put diapers in my kitchen or on my coffee table. She's like, oh, well, it's not like I have a genie or a diaper genie or anything. And I'm like, neither did I. But I do own trash cans, and that's where diapers went when I was done because generally after I changed a diaper, I would go wash my hands. Because as I'm dealing with somebody else's bodily fluids, I'm not just going to leave them and just continue on with whatever I'm doing. Seems gross,
Yeah.
and you're a nurse, and it seems like you would have some basic hygiene. But who
Oh yeah.
do I know?
Some wet wipes or disinfectant
Gross.
spray or a little soap and water at least. Soap and water.
Soap
Fantastic.
and water is really generally the answer to a lot of things. I'm just saying.
That's what you need. That's what you need in life. We all need a lot of soap and water.
Yeah. So, it's my random. This is what I do. So I was packing packages yesterday, and I was listening to these things because sometimes you need to be able to. Trash can's so weird. I always change my kiddo in the same stop. Well, yeah, yeah. So anyway, moving on.
Anyway,
What do you want to talk about now?
well, I don't know. We could talk about the FBI and all of that important stuff. Otherwise, I might be really rude about Calvin Robinson. So,
Okay, well, let's talk about the FBI first. So anybody who's watched this for more than 7 seconds knows that I'm a little bit in love with Dan Bongino in like I love his commentary way. Um, and so I was listening to him this morning while I was knitting, and Petite Me says drones. Yeah, we're gonna get there in a minute. Um, but Dan Bongino was
I'm
talking
sorry. I
about
think it's hilarious. It's like you're like, yeah, I really like Dan Bongino, and I'm over here like, yeah, I really like Mark Stein and Razor Fist. It's what makes us work as
yeah,
an internet couple. It's very
yeah. I don't think I've listened to Razor Fist or Mark Stein ever in my whole life. So there you
there you
go.
go. It all works out.
Um, so Bongino, I part of why I like him though is that he was in the Secret Service, so he has a lot of insight into stuff that's going on that I don't know. What? He's a Fed
Bad.
and doesn't like Feds apparently. So,
I have
although,
an
how much experience have you had with them? I mean, is this just like based on what you've seen, or is there stuff that I don't know about you?
look. I just don't trust the man. Okay.
Okay,
Like, I just want to make that clear.
so listening to Bongino, who's no longer a Fed. He gave that up, and now he's a podcaster and talk show host. Apparently, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But he was talking about Christopher Wray and January 6th, and he was talking about like this dude is just a big fat liar. Like, Christopher Wray's like, oh, there were no assets in the crowd on January 6th. And Bongino's like, that's a lie. Like,
Mhm.
like that's a lie. As a government agent, there are always people in the crowd. That's they there's going to be a big thing. They put people out there in the crowd to like know what's up, right? So he's like straight up we know that's a lie. And there's so much stuff going on. But yeah, Christopher Wray is stepping down in favor of Kash Patel, and I just cannot wait. I cannot wait for this. Yeah, yeah, we knew that
Oh yeah.
that this was going on, but I mean, like this dude is adamantly denying it. And what's going to be the recourse when they come in and they find out that they knew a whole bunch of stuff? Like, what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Oh, there ought to be. Well, I thought it was also very interesting that, Ray's like, yeah, I'm stepping down, I'm leaving. And suddenly the Patriot Front announced that they're disbanding. It's crazy because, I thought they were Trumpy Trump guys. I thought that they'd be. No, they're not because it's all fake. It is all fake.
I heard of Fay Ray and Link Ray, but not this Chris Cat. Well, he's the head of our FBI, so yeah. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of stuff, even if you haven't heard of him. What else was I going to tell you? Sorry, apparently my brain's everywhere this morning. Oh, on the same deal, have you heard about all the people that Biden's been pardoning? He's just pardoning everybody. But my most interesting ones was the secret agent from China, the person accused of espionage.
I missed it. But,
and the Chinese pedophile. And then there was another person from China that was really questionable. That why are we pardoning these people, sir? What dirt do they have on you?
Well, it's dirt that they have on the Bidens. Bidens have a lot of money coming in from China. But also, I mean, on your way out the door, pardon everybody and give yourself a soft landing. That, Hunter, knowing exactly when the window of opportunity for pardoning Hunter on anything he may have done, not just a specific crime, but,
Yeah. Blanket pardon. My favorite part, though.
And I've said this.
Sorry.
No, just that, the whole, get the mob for tax evasion. Okay, I think that's stupid. That annoys the crap out of me. But you can't even do that for Hunter Biden. You can't be like, okay, so you have this firearms charge, and you have underage, you're having, sex with underage people, and I say that to, it's like Ko said, underage prostitution, but yeah, that trafficking is the term. All of these things, you have drug issues, money laundering, potential actual treason with, foreign agents, of all of these crimes that you could get him for. Is like, and we're pardoning all of that because he's just got a heart of gold. That Hunter Biden, he's such a scam.
Well, as long as he's got a heart of gold, I mean, he's fine. I hope that they can find a way around the Hunter Biden pardon, though, because like there are certain things now, like he has to testify, and if he lies, then his pardon is null. So like I hope that they can use it for something. I hope they know more than we know, which is all I don't know. But
pretty sick.
It's all messed up. So there's that. And then there's the drones over New Jersey. So what's happened in Jersey? Is it aliens? I think it's aliens. It's probably aliens. Well, I mean, my husband watches a lot of that. Skinwalker Ranch and all of that nonsense about how the aliens are in charge of everything. So I'm going with that.
Well, if it's aliens, then it's aliens that use our air traffic rules because they have the red light on one side and the other light on the other. So, if aliens follow our air traffic rules, then I guess, hi, buddy. Like, what?
I know it's not actually aliens, people in the comments. I was just being silly.
I appreciate the aliens, like, adhering to our culture, though. I think that's great. I think
Yeah,
we
I
can
mean,
make a
come
lot of
on.
inroads.
Oh, now they're over Connecticut and Massachusetts. That means they're going to come visit me soon, I bet. That'll be fun.
Wow.
Although I'm not near a military base, so I'm just going to say maybe not. It's hard to say. But the thing I heard this morning that I thought was pretty interesting was that there's reports of a mothership from Iran that has left and is somewhere, and it seems like these drones are big enough that they could be launched off of something like that. But nobody's really that interested in finding out, which is the yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not near a military base, and they're in my area of Jersey. Yeah, okay, so maybe you don't need to be near a military base.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff in that area.
Not
But
Iran.
whatever.
It's people who want war with Iran. Yeah, there's a lot of. I don't know. It was weird that the White House and other people were saying yes, they're drones, and then the Pentagon came out and said no, it's not. And I feel like they should be on the same page. I'm just saying.
I know. I think there's a lot of shut up and take it. I think it's like
Hmm.
there's a drone in your sky. Well, you should shut up about it. Well, don't pay attention to that. We told you not to. Why are you looking? Stop looking. This is your problem for looking. And you're like,
Hmm.
dude.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's weird. I haven't actually watched any of the footage yet, so I don't know. It's a strange, strange thing. This administration is a total dumpster fire. That I can get behind. Um,
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. What do you think, Anne? Oh, Miss Emmy says it's a distraction. I mean, there's always that. It's over my
Yeah.
property. It's going down. So, Kendra, what happened to a dude in Jersey? A Walmart drone was flying over his house, and he shot it down, and he got arrested because that is against federal aviation rules. So, just FYI, so that you are fully aware that you can go to jail for shooting something above your house because the laws are old and it doesn't say anything about drones.
Yeah. It's
So
sort of
there's that.
like the Nancy Pelosi, we got to pass the bill to find out what's in it. It's like you got to shoot the drone down to figure out whose it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not an endorsed opinion. Like allegedly, or however allegedly works in that.
Yeah. Just hypothetically, that's what would happen, but we're not condoning any such behavior.
There's a story like years ago out of France that they were using falcons to hunt drones. And I think that's a brilliant idea. That's fantastic.
So, but how long would that happen? Like, okay, so let's say I get a falcon today. How long is it going to take for that falcon to be ready to hunt drones? Because I don't think it's going to be fast enough.
Falconry takes forever. Ask RFK Jr.
Ask who?
You have to. RFK Jr. He has a
Oh,
falcon.
okay. He does?
Yeah.
What?
Because he's awesome. And he dumps bears in Central Park. That's the kind of guy
He does what?
He dumps bear cubs in Central Park.
Why?
You haven't heard this story?
No, I need to know this story.
He does crazy stuff. He hit it with his car and then he dumped it in Central Park so no one could find it.
Oh, so he wasn't dumping live bear cubs in. He hit one.
He hit one. And
where was he that he hit a bear cub and then he had it in his car all the way to Central Park? What is happening? I live in upstate New York. I've never seen a bear cub. I mean, I live in a fairly populous area, but Trump Jr. went falcon hunting with him. Do you think it's for drones?
Is so cool, man. But it takes a lot of practice, and not only just a lot of practice, but your bird can up and fly away. Like that's part of the thing. It has wings, so it's like you're training it, you're gaining trust. It goes, it comes back to you. But if you can straight up spend years working with that thing, and the bird can be like, "I'm out," and you never see your bird again. Exactly.
So
and nowadays, this stupid stuff. You have regulations you have to follow. You got to get permits and all this stupid stuff. You can't just
Yeah,
have a bird
you
anymore.
can't just do whatever you want to.
Exactly. It sucks. It sucks.
Adam
Everyone
says
should have
that
a bird and a pet squirrel if they want one.
not in New York. Um, Adam says that you could catapult bags of migrant feces. And Adam, I think you and my husband would get along very well because his solution for the border problem has just been to load up the border with like biohazard material so that like people are getting stuck with needles and shit as they come over the border. So I don't know. It sounds like you two could really work together and come up with some ideas.
We get some Looney Tunes stuff up in here.
Hey, enter at your own risk, people.
Exactly.
Oh,
Not just
those flying
razor
dollars,
wire. We're
large.
getting alligators. We're getting lasers.
Oh, alligators are a good idea. Just saying, allegedly,
Allegedly.
hypothetically. Nobody's saying that we should get alligators or biohazard on the border. It's just
Or lasers.
hypothetically. They'd still come over and then they'd spread hepatitis to all. Yeah, that would be the problem. Or they get like AIDS or something, then we would have to treat them. So it's a thing. I have always been pro gator moat. I mean, it seems like a fairly good idea. I'm just saying.
And you're like, nah, that's too simple. I'm like, no, you don't want to go through that. There's gators. It's terrible. Exactly.
Okay, Dr. Evil. Thank you. So anyway, we're starting to go off the rails. Do you want to tell us the Cal Robinson thing real quick, or is that the name, or do you want to not?
I'll tell you the Calvin Robinson thing just briefly because it's uncharitable, but it ticks me off. Okay, so Calvin Robinson, all right, was in England. He was with the Reclaim Party with Lawrence Fox and all of that, and doing political stuff. He's part of the commentariat. He's like woohoo based Christian guy. Isn't that fantastic? And he's having an issue because he is a brand of like not mainline Catholic, like they're Catholic, which means universal, but also separate. And he's a little group, and he had a church in London, and he wasn't supported very well in that, and he had all these issues. So he then moved to Michigan. Okay. I understand that everybody has to choose when to stay and when to walk, and they have to choose it for themselves for stuff. But it torques me off to know, okay, so, and England right now, it's like England, I would think, is in a great need of spiritual leadership and people loving England and loving England's people right now when they need it a lot. It's like, okay, but for everyone's there are other preachers specifically, but
your mom says lay off Calvin. Isn't that her?
That's probably true. But anyways.
But yeah, why desert in the time of need kind of thing? Is that where you're getting at?
Yeah, it's like, okay, look, everyone makes their own choices. But personally, all of that leaves England, comes to America, and just in this time where England is actually killing itself, it's like, and now is he talking about England killing itself? Not particularly. He's going off on having hot takes about Jews not believing in Jesus. Like, that is literally on the label. Literally on the label. It's like internet stuff. Well, it's like, if you want to evangelize Michigan, go ahead, if out of all your choices.
Oh, but, okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
If you want to be at a church there, that's great. But it's a thing of like, okay, so we're going to take a stand and we're going to go off about Ben Shapiro. It's like, not that I'm a big fan of Ben Shapiro, but you're going to, again, I understand having theological differences with people. Of course, I disagree with a lot of different people theologically, but I'm not going to be up and surprised if someone who says they're a Catholic believes Catholic things. I may disagree with what they believe, but I won't be like, "Oh my gosh, can you believe that he says state's mainline Catholic view? I can't believe he's a Lutheran." Why would I say I can't believe? He's Jewish. He doesn't believe in Jesus. That's that's
That's part of it,
like,
yes.
why are we so? It's like, okay, so Calvin's gonna go on Lotus Eaters and again do segments of hot takes on Ben Shapiro. I'm like, what a lame brain thing to do. It's like you have all of these issues, but sure, you can get some Twitter bucks for that one. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Interesting. While you were chatting, your father came up with it's illegal to shoot them down. It's illegal to fly a drone at night without a strobe light that can be seen 3 miles away with this flight plan. So I don't know. Seems like they should be doing something about these things. Interesting. And then while you were talking, also, I lost it. Sorry. A stitch in the sky said he would have been in danger, and that the Met Police are not protecting people. So yeah,
It's so true.
I mean, there's that. Calvin is not used to living in a pluralist society. There's a lot of things going on. Biden will pardon the drones too. He probably will. I mean,
Step out of the White
dude,
House, all priest-like, and pardon the drones.
I was gonna say we should go out and do something crazy, but we don't fall on the correct side, so we can't.
No.
We would get pardoned if we did something crazy. So I guess
Yeah, we can't do anything about the drones.
Mm-hmm. So anyway,
but
interesting stuff.
Have we podcasted since the Daniel Penny thing? Since he got acquitted completely?
I don't think so. Did we?
I think we may have. I think since Tuesday, I think it was the first part he was acquitted of, and not the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Well, it was lovely that he was acquitted, but the real thing is that he shouldn't have been up for trial at all.
It's very true.
Oh, we did talk about it because we talked about the CPR mask and stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's great of JD Vance inviting him to the Army-Navy game.
Oh, cool. I didn't hear that.
Oh, yeah. 2 Marines hanging out, being bros. And Trump will be there, too, which is
cool.
Unusual because Trump and Vance aren't normally together for security reasons.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't even thinking about my husband's birthday was this past week, and he's like, all I want to do on Saturday is watch the Army Navy game. And I'm like, okay, you can. So but I wasn't thinking about like it's a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal to a lot of people, so that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's this afternoon around 3 p.m. Eastern, in case you are interested in watching.
There you
friends.
go.
But no, that's cool. Daniel Penny should never have gone through that, and the fact that they made him is kind of shitty. But I don't know.
No, and what a heck of a nice guy too. Okay, with his whole thing was concern for people on the car, and even concern for Jordan Neely when it was all going down. That he was trying to, keep him alive, keep him together, keep him from hurting other people was his thing. But also he's like, yeah, I've gone through all of this, but if it was between, me going through this and the people potentially getting hurt awfully, it's like, well, I'd still rather do what I did. So
yeah. Well, it's just a funny situation because Daniel Penny, he had a guy that helped him who was black who helped him restrain Jordan Neely, and some of the cops were black, but he's the only one that was being, held accountable, which is interesting. It's very interesting, but I don't know. So, on that note, we're gonna go because I gotta go get my thing from the people. I gotta go get my cross stitch trump from the people because I don't want them to miss the window and then have them be like, "Oh, you didn't come, so we disposed of it." Because they're 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 a little bit more left than we are. I doubt they would dispose of it, but I don't want to have to chase it all around. That would be upsetting.
Right.
But so everybody watching the Army Navy game today, that'll be fun. Make sure you check out Chicken Lady. She has got the beautiful yarns. You can use the code MBluebird20 PIK for 20% off. If you want to win yarn, like totally comment once this video is over so that we can see it, because these comments are not so easy to find once it's all done. Beautiful. It's a beautiful colorway.
Lovely. And also, now that it's winter and everyone's feet are cold, oops, sorry, I'm dropping things. Do remember that Chicken Lady does have the socks that are cranked by Mr. Chicken Lady that you can get in various heights, different colorways. It's lovely. It's wool. It's also reinforced too, which is super nice.
Yep.
So definitely check that out.
Yep. Every time you show those, it makes me try to remember where I put mine because I put them somewhere safe, so they'll turn up at some point. I haven't had a chance to wear them yet though, because I got mine in the summer, and Anne obviously hasn't worn hers because I doubt that they would still be in the package.
No, well, I do like to show them off. They're very pretty. I mean, they're just they're lovely.
They are very pretty. So check out Chicken Lady. Enter to win. All the fun stuff. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Oh, and we will see you. Yeah, we'll see you on Tuesday. Also, little programming notes. Do check out our lovely friends. I mean, Chicken Lady, of course, but Tabitha of Cabot Cove Knits. She just started a Patreon. Shauna Stitches. She's doing Vlogmas. So yeah, there's all sorts of great stuff going around.
Yep, lots of cool things. So make sure you check out all the friends. Neil, new issue of Block Magazine came out recently. Yes. So
yes, and Neil was actually, is that upcoming or has he already talked with Shauna or is that upcoming? I don't remember.
I'm not certain.
To review Blocked Magazine. So do check that out and check out the latest issue of Blocked.
Yep. So, all right, guys, we will see you later. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.